A fun fact about me is that I own over 450 bottles of cologne, but on my fragrance shelf next to me, the only fragrance brand that has an entire row to itself is Lattafa. I felt really guilty doing this, but I counted exactly how many Lattafa fragrances I actually own, and the number shocked even myself. Can you guess what it is? It's 33. 33 bottles of fragrances from Lattafa. But out of these 33, which are the best 10, at least in my opinion? Well, that's why you're watching this video. So, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the best 10 Lattafa fragrances ever created. Before we get into the official top 10, I would like to give two honorable mentions. The first is Lattafa Khamrah Dukhan. Now, this fragrance came out a few months ago now, and it just really hasn't been talked about since its release, and I can see why. It stays pretty close to Lattafa Khamrah, to Khamrah Qahwa, but I do think I was a little bit too harsh and critical about this fragrance when I first tried and reviewed it. It's a more masculine take on the Khamrah DNA. You get some smokiness in the dry down, some tobacco. This definitely leans masculine, whereas Khamrah and even Qahwa are both perfectly unisex in my opinion. I also love how strong this fragrance is. It's probably stronger than the original, about the same strength as Qahwa, and it lasts about 10 to 12 hours. So if you want a more masculine fragrance, but something that's still sweet and creamy with great performance, Khamrah Dukhan, if you can find it for a really good price, maybe 35 to 40 US dollars, still fantastic. Almost top 10 worthy. I was too harsh on you when you were first released, but it's time for us to forgive each other, because really solid, honestly. The last honorable mention is going to be a new fragrance from Lattafa that came out about a month ago now. It is called Lattafa Dynasty. This is a beautiful tea, leathery, slightly fruity fragrance as well. It's spicy, it's herbal, it smells incredibly high quality. The reason it's not in the top 10, it's just in the honorable mentions, is because it's something I could never see myself wearing. But for the right person, I could see this being a masterpiece. It was also created by master perfumer Alex Lee, so I believe it's a completely original creation. He's done the new Dolce & Gabbana fragrances, he's worked with niche brands like Born to Stand Out. This man knows what he's doing, and you can tell when you smell this fragrance. It smells extremely expensive, and yeah, if you told me this was a $200 to $300 cologne, and I was blindfolded, I would believe you in a heartbeat. It's just not for me personally. Kicking off our top 10 spot when it comes to the best Lattafa fragrances is Art of Universe. That bottle is so sexy. Such a cool bottle, man. One of my favorite. Who cares about the bottle? It is just cool though. So this is Lattafa's take on Ex Nihilo's Blue Talisman, an incredibly hyped up niche, fresh summer fragrance with notes of ginger, pear. It's very bright, very uplifting. And this is very clearly a twist on the DNA. It's about 85% close, but what Lattafa have done, if they've overdosed the fruitiness, in particular the pear, and basically just boosted the performance in terms of projection and longevity. I really, really like their twist on this. Blue Talisman isn't my favorite fragrance in the world. I don't wear the original that much, but this one, like, I wear this more. I honestly do wear this more than the OG. I love how photorealistic the pear is. In the original Blue Talisman, you get the pear, but it's not as photorealistic as in Art of Universe, which is what I love about Lattafa's take on the scent profile. Great lasting power. You're going to get between 8 to 10 hours, so it will comfortably last you the entire day with very strong projection. I'm actually going to make this my scent of the day, but I do have boxing in about 45 minutes, so I think 2 sprays is literally all I'll need. And I guarantee you, my boxing instructor will compliment me. Maybe. We'll see. He does prefer more oudi scents, but it's good. It's good stuff. In the number 9 spot, I have a fragrance that is a lesser known one on this list. Probably the least known Lattafa fragrance, which is a shame because it's one of the best. And that fragrance is Lattafa Jasoor. Crazy bottle. Oh. Oh, frick yeah, that's good. So this is inspired by Valentino's Coral Fantasy, which is one of my all-time favorite designer fragrances. It's actually my second favorite designer fragrance of all time. So what you're going to get in this fragrance is a 90% close copy of Coral Fantasy. They haven't tried to twist it. It's pretty clear they saw Coral Fantasy and were like, we like heat. We like that scent. Let's just copy it as close as we can. And they freaking succeeded, man, as Lattafa usually does. You're gonna get some red apple, which gives it a really bright fruitiness. You're gonna get tobacco, which is what makes this fragrance so unique, and it kind of gives it that addicting quality. Though I will say in Lattafa Jasoor, whether it was intentional or not, the tobacco is definitely toned down a bit, which kind of gives it a more smoothed out, mass appealing smell compared to the OG Coral Fantasy. Unfortunately, the longevity also isn't quite as strong and good as Coral Fantasy. This one gives me about 6 hours, whereas Coral Fantasy I can easily push 8+ hours. Projection though, very strong, similar to the real Coral Fantasy, if not even stronger projection, which is interesting. So weaker longevity, but just as strong, if not stronger projection. It's sweet, it's fruity, it's a little bit fresh, a little bit spicy, super easy to wear. This is like an all year round signature scent type of cologne fragrance. If you can find it for around that $30 mark, it's really solid. I highly recommend picking it up. I also want to mention with these cologne fragrances, depending on the country you live in, linked in the description, you'll find a whole bunch of discount codes. You'll find my favorite discounter websites, which ship to most places in the world. I have one for Australia, one for the US, one for Canada. They hopefully will ship to the UK and Europe as well. Check it out because, yeah, pretty good deals down there. At the number 8 spot, I have the original Lattafa Khamrah. As you can see, absolutely drained this. I think I got this bottle like 6 months ago, and I still wear it at least once or twice a month to this day. The first bottle I got of Khamrah was about 2 years ago now, and I believe it was the second Middle Eastern cologne fragrance I got. The first one was Afnan 9 PM, but I'll be honest, as soon as I got Khamrah, it became my all-time favorite Middle Eastern fragrance, and it took like 50 more Middle Eastern fragrances until I found one that I liked more than this, because this thing is freaking good, man. It's so good. It's a massive twist on Kilian's Angel Share. What you'll find is Kilian's Angel Share is much more boozy. It's much more mature and sophisticated smelling. Lattafa Khamrah is like Angel Share's drunk uncle that shows up to like the family reunions, and he drinks a bit too much, and like the mother's like covering the kid's eyes because he thinks the uncle's a bad example. But the uncle's way cooler than everyone else still, and he is like really cool. Yeah, anyway. So this one is going to be much sweeter than Angel Share. It's creamier. You're going to get praline, dates. It's just a whole bunch of sweetness, creaminess, and edibleness into a bottle. It doesn't lean feminine though, despite it being so sweet. I find it's perfectly unisex. The cinnamon in this fragrance is beautiful. Cinnamon is one of my favorite notes, so that's probably why Khamrah has always been one of my favorite Lattafa fragrances. If you don't have it already, in 2025, you're living under a rock. It's honestly, for a collector, I think it's a must own. Up next, we have Lattafa Asad Bourbon. Not the original Lattafa Asad, because I hate that fragrance. Not, oh, that's harsh. Come on, Finn, be a bit nicer to Lattafa. I don't hate it. It's just not for me. Just not for me. Asad Bourbon, though, smells nothing like Lattafa Asad. This isn't really a dupe of anything. It's kind of just a hybrid fragrance of a whole bunch of mass appealing designers. So it's kind of impossible for this fragrance to fail. It's taken elements of Born in Roma, Most Wanted, Stronger With You, that type of sweet, spicy, really vanillic scent profile. It's just kind of taken different scent DNAs from everything and mixed it into one fragrance. I'll give it to Lattafa though. As easy as that sounds to do on paper, I can imagine from a perfumer's perspective, mixing 3 fragrances together can't be easy, but they have really done it well here. It's fresh, it is quite spicy, it's sweet. It just ticks all the boxes for me for like a mass appealing, cheap fragrance, decent lasting power, 6 to 7 hours of longevity with good projection. It'd be like the perfect back to school cologne for when you want something safe you can wear all year round, but something that would still help you stand out enough to potentially get compliments. This one has a 4.5 star rating on Fragrantica, and usually when something's rated that high, it'll only have like 100 reviews. This one has over 1,000 reviews, and with a rating that high, it kind of speaks for itself. It's a really solid fragrance. Nothing mind-blowing, especially if you're more into niche stuff or you're not new to the cologne game. Chances are this one won't blow you away, but for what it's trying to be, for what it is, if you just accept it for what it is, you'll find that this is a really good fragrance. At the number 6 spot is a brand new Lattafa fragrance that at the time of recording this video, it's not quite out yet. It's about to be out though, in like a week. But it's really freaking good. Lattafa Sherif, or what I like to call the Hulk juice fragrance. I feel like if the Hulk was to wear a cologne, it would be this color. Lattafa Sherif. What is it? What is it trying to smell like? Well, to keep it short, because this doesn't have to be a long segment, it smells like Parfums de Marly Greenly, but with a more appley twist on the fragrance. Everyone knows Greenly is all about that green apple, but also you get woods and oak moss in the base. Essentially with this fragrance, they've overdosed the apple, overdosed the sweetness, added in some kind of like creamy vanilla to it. It's super nice, man. It's really addictive. Less sophisticated smelling than Greenly, although Greenly's not that sophisticated smelling anyway, but this one smells even more youthful. It's even more fun. I feel like this is Greenly if you want to go out partying and get attention. You know, like this would still be great for the summer. I just feel like they're appealing more to the younger guys with this fragrance. Super sweet. It's like a more edible smelling Greenly. I have a few other inspired by versions of Greenly. I have Ether Extrait by French Avenue. I have Bougerami Wicked. Both of those are pretty good, but I do think this is the best Greenly inspired by fragrance out on the market. Once this one comes to the market. Come on, Lattafa, get this thing out. It's really good. I need to test the performance a little bit more. I've worn it for about 2 days now, and it seems pretty freaking strong. I mean, moderate projection. It seems like it doesn't project quite as well as the real Greenly, but the longevity is there. It's still 7 to 8 hours, which I'm surprised by, considering they tone down those base notes, which are generally what makes the fragrance last. It's like an apple overdose that lasts. It's really good. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. We are now officially in the top 5, and I believe this is the most expensive Lattafa fragrance on this list, but man, it's freaking worth it. Teriaq Intense, made by Quentin Biche, one of the most well-known perfumers in the industry. He made Le Male Elixir, so yeah, this dude, he knows what he's doing. And you can kind of pick up on that Le Male Elixir Absolute DNA in this fragrance, so it's clear that Quentin Biche took some elements of that JPG and moved it onto this fragrance. But the plum liqueur note is so addictive. It's boozy, it's sweet. It just smells like a complete fragrance. And that might sound a little strange because you might be like, well, obviously it smells like a fragrance, Finn. But you'll find with a lot of Middle Eastern fragrances, especially from brands that maybe aren't as good, is you'll smell them and they just smell flat. You can just tell they're a dupe. They don't smell like a proper fragrance that has complexity, that has, you know, a different smell in the opening versus the dry down. They just smell like something a machine made. Teriaq Intense, you can tell is a complete fragrance from start to finish. In terms of the notes, you get saffron, bergamot off the top, gives it some fresh spiciness. You get the plum liqueur like I talked about. You get cinnamon, which adds in more spiciness, and then in the base, you get those long-lasting ingredients. You get the amber, the tonka bean. It's smooth. It's super sexy. It honestly just kind of wraps you up in it when you spray it on. It's one of those fragrances you have to be careful that it doesn't actually wear you because it's very strong. It can almost be overpowering at times. You have to be in like a confident going out mood to pull off this fragrance. As I keep wearing this more, I wouldn't be surprised if it climbs up to the top 3 Lattafa fragrances. It's a masterpiece. And if you already own Le Male Elixir, I do think this is better, and I don't think it's redundant to own both. There's only like maybe 20% of Le Male Elixir inside of Teriaq Intense. Outside of that, it's definitely its own thing. Making its way into the top 4 is the most slept on Lattafa on this list because I see nobody talk about it, and it's so freaking criminal. Quaim Silver. This bottle looks a little bit weird and futuristic, I know, but the smell is gorgeous. It's a perfect take on Bulgari Tiger. So you know that ginger, soapy, musky, just masculine scent profile? It's one of those. So the smell isn't anything crazy unique, but the way Lattafa executed it is just so perfect. It's such a high quality smell. It kind of just smells like a man whose hygiene is incredibly on point. Like I feel like if I met a man, shook his hand, and he was wearing this, I'll be like, fuck, this guy, he knows how to take good care of himself. That's this fragrance. If you want something in the ballpark of even like a Louis Vuitton imagination, but with a twist and on a budget, Quaim Silver would be perfect for you. Or maybe you've been looking for that signature gym scent and you can't find the perfect balance of sweet and musky. Quaim Silver could be perfect for you. Maybe you're an athlete who wants something to wear before school and also after school in the locker room to repel the smell of Axe deodorant that all the other kids are wearing. Quaim Silver would be perfect. You'll also be surprised at the strength and performance power of such a cheap and fresh fragrance. You're going to get around 6 to 7 hours of longevity with soft to moderate projection. Really solid performer, fantastic high quality smell. It doesn't smell cheap at all. And that's a common theme with most Lattafa fragrances, and it's one of the reasons why I just love Lattafa as a brand. You should totally subscribe, by the way, if you like Lattafa like I do, because if you haven't noticed, I talk about Lattafa a lot. So if you want to hear more about Lattafa, you know what to do. Breaking into the top 3 is a Lattafa fragrance we don't have to spend long on because it's very self-explanatory. Lattafa's Opulent Dubai. This smells like SHL's God of Fire, but it removes the oud note. They freaking did it. It's like they made this fragrance for me. Because if you didn't know, I hate oud with a passion. Like and subscribe if you also hate oud, by the way. So yeah, there's only a handful of oud fragrances that I've ever smelled that I enjoy. Oud, Satin, Mood. I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. The oud note in the real God of Fire is quite subtle. I will admit, you only really pick up on it in the dry down. And the reason they took this out is probably just to increase the mass appeal, to appeal to people with basic ass tastes like me. And it worked. It worked. Opulent Dubai just smells like pure mango slushy. You get a little bit of kind of green richness in the base, but that's pretty much it. It's as pure, it's as close to like a pure fruity mango fragrance as it gets. It's not something I want to wear all the time, but when I want mango, I do gravitate to this more than the real God of Fire and more than any of the other God and Fire inspired by versions that I own, and I own pretty much all of them. Performance is solid, probably not bad enough for you to be disappointed, but it's also not great. It's not as good as the real God of Fire, probably because they got rid of the oud note. And if you didn't know, oud is one of those freaking base notes that really helps a fragrance last. But it still lasts pretty good without having oud, around 6 to 7 hours tops. Projection, soft-ish. But it's a nice mango smell. It's incredible. I love you, Lattafa. No oud for the win. Before I talk about the second best Lattafa fragrance of all time, please just make this promise with me between the screen. Do not blind buy this fragrance that I'm about to talk about. Okay, now we got that out of the way, I can talk about Lattafa's Honor and Glory. This fragrance is not for everyone. It smells like a pineapple creme brulee, but it's floral, it's super powdery and sweet and rich. Some people think it smells too synthetic. Some people think it gives them a headache. Me, it just gets me compliments. Sometimes it will give me a headache if I spray too much, but for like summer nights, when you want a really loud, sweet, just in-your-face type of fragrance, there's not much better out there than Lattafa Honor and Glory. Even just looking at the note breakdown, you can tell what type of fragrance you're in for here when you buy it. You get pineapple, a creme brulee accord. I don't know how you recreate the smell of a creme brulee, but they actually did a pretty freaking good job here. You get cinnamon, black pepper, and then vanilla and cashmere in the base. It's a sweet, sexy fragrance, very unisex in my opinion. And yeah, the reason I made sure you promised with me not to blind buy this is because I used to talk about this fragrance all the time, and I still do. But back in the day, I never warned people that maybe it wasn't blind buy safe, and so I had a lot of complaints in my comment section being like, hey Finn, I blind bought Honor and Glory a week ago, and it smells like ass cheeks, or it smells way too sweet, or it smells too floral. And I'm just putting my hands up like, bro, it's your money. I'm just telling you that I like it, you know? Get a sample if you can. Try it in a Middle Eastern store if you can. Don't blind buy it. I think it's fantastic. It gets me a lot of compliments and positive attention, but it may not be for you. And did I mention it's nearly beast mode? It's incredibly strong and long lasting. And finally, at my number 1 spot, if you already know what fragrance I'm about to talk about, make sure you're subscribed because it means that you are a real one. But if you don't know, I am talking about Lattafa Khamrah, but the Qahwa version. Lattafa Khamrah is a fantastic fragrance. I don't know how they made it even better, but what they essentially did is amped up the cinnamon even more, essentially took out any kind of booziness and added in this beautiful dark roasted coffee note. I got this about a year ago now, and when I first bought it, a lot of the reviews were saying, you know, this smells great, but I wish the coffee note lasted longer. It only lasts about 30 minutes to an hour. I call bullshit, because at least on my skin, I get coffee for 5 to 6 hours, and it's the perfect balance of coffee. It's not something super black and, you know, in your face and obnoxiously realistic. It's a sweet, creamy, black coffee, but it's got some like sugariness to it. creamy, as I said, vanilla. It's just a beautiful fragrance. Like Teriaq Intense, it smells like a complete fragrance that has complexity, that changes from opening to dry down. There are no hints or signs here that this is like a $30 Middle Eastern inspired by fragrance. It smells like its own thing. It smells like an original niche fragrance that was made by a master perfumer, honestly. That's literally what this smells like. What I also really enjoy about this fragrance is that although it is very sweet, it is less sweet than the original Khamrah, and it's a bit more masculine and spicy too, which I can really appreciate. It makes this, you know, a really great fragrance to dress up. You can wear this with a suit and a tie. You can wear this out partying. It's actually quite versatile, and it is something you can dress both up and down, whereas I do feel like the original Khamrah probably isn't quite as suited for, you know, really dressed up occasions. Performance-wise, this one is also super solid. You're going to get 10 plus hours of longevity. So you can spray this on in the morning, you can go to work, you can go to school, you can do whatever. And at nighttime, it will still be leaving a really nice kind of subtle scent bubble around you. 10 out of 10 fragrance. Most of the fragrances on this list actually are a 10 out of 10, but this one is amazing. It's my favorite affordable fragrance ever created, actually. Excluding Lattafa, it is the best fragrance, probably under $100 in my entire collection. Okay, that's enough fucking glazing, Finn. I feel like you guys get the point. That is going to wrap up this video on my 10 favorite Lattafa fragrances of all time. I recommend all of these if you're on a budget. This fragrance, I mean, not this fragrance, this video was pretty much made for you. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. That was zesty.